Nimisha was panting heavily and trembling uncontrollably. Her hair was disheveled, and she stood in front of the mirror, trying to tie it back, but her nervousness prevented her from doing anything. That night, Nimisha regretted her habit of staying awake late for the first time. Nimisha was afraid that someone was still following her. This story began when Manisha and Nimisha were both studying in Class A at a boarding school and lived in the hostel. The boarding school they attended was considered very good for studies, but the girls' hostel of that boarding school had a different story altogether. 5 years ago, a simple and bright 9th-grade girl had died on the 5th floor of the girls' hostel in that boarding school. No one understood how the girl had died. Teachers and parents said that the girl had neither depression nor any academic pressure. Initially, everyone thought it was murder, but the police never found any evidence, due to which the case was closed. However, year after year, a rumor slowly spread that the girl's ghost now resided on the 5th floor. Therefore, the school authorities had closed the 5th floor, which was only opened once a week for cleaning. About 5 years after that incident, Nimisha and Manisha started sharing a room in that hostel. Both had a very fixed routine. Nimisha would stay awake all night studying and wake Manisha up at 7 a.m. to go to sleep. Then Manisha would study until breakfast time. Manisha wore glasses, and a black thread given to her by her mother was always tied around her wrist. Like the other students, they didn't believe much in the stories of the 5th floor, but still, no one went there. But on December 10th, something happened that Manisha had no idea about. Like every day, Nimisha was sitting in the room at 12:30 a.m., studying, and Manisha was sleeping on her side. Suddenly, Nimisha's throat felt parched. She got up and went to the hall to make coffee. The entire hall was completely silent. Everyone was either in their rooms or asleep. There was no one in the hall except for the whirring sound of the coffee machine. But after switching off the machine, silence returned. Nimisha turned back with her mug of coffee and suddenly felt a jolt, causing her to spill the coffee. She saw that Manisha was standing right behind her. Due to the darkness, Nimisha could only see half of her face. That night, Manisha looked different. She was neither wearing her glasses nor did she have the black thread on her wrist. Nimisha asked Manisha why she had woken up so early, to which Manisha replied, "Why don't we both go to the balcony on the 5th floor?" Hearing this, Nimisha's eyes widened, and a slight mischievous smile appeared on her face. Before she could say anything, Manisha grabbed her hand and started pulling her up the stairs. As they climbed the stairs, only the sound of Nimisha's slippers could be heard. She noticed that Manisha was not wearing any slippers. Something was very strange that night. The door to the 5th floor of that hostel was open, and they both went inside. They first looked around, and then after a few minutes, they found themselves in a room. This was the same girl's room who had died 5 years ago and about whom people said that her spirit wandered on the 5th floor. But neither Nimisha nor Manisha knew about this room. The weather was very cold that night. Cold winds were blowing in from the broken windows on the 5th floor, and fog was settling in the darkness of the night. Suddenly, Nimisha's eyes fell on the wall, on which someone had scratched the 10th of December in large letters with their fingernails. Both stood on the balcony, looking down. Manisha had been silently pacing for a long time. Nimisha was feeling very cold, so she asked Manisha to go downstairs, but Manisha paid no attention to Nimisha's words. She tried to call Manisha again, and that's when Manisha looked her in the eyes for the first time. Nimisha was horrified. Manisha's eyes had turned completely white. She said in a very slow voice, "Jump." Nimisha couldn't understand why Manisha was asking her to jump down. All the color drained from her face. As each second passed, Manisha's voice became heavier. Looking into Nimisha's eyes, she kept repeating, "Jump, jump." Nimisha's face turned pale, and her arms and legs froze in one position, as if she was being hypnotized. It felt like if she didn't jump, Manisha would push her down. Nimisha's eyes started to close, and she began to loosen her hair. Her scattered hair flowed in the air like water. Nimisha was slowly coming under Manisha's control, but just then, suddenly, there was a loud thud on the floor below, and Nimisha regained consciousness. Somehow, she mustered the courage and pushed Manisha back, then ran downstairs. While running, she heard a very terrifying roar behind her, but she didn't dare to look back. She quickly entered her room and locked the door tightly. What she saw then shocked her even more. She saw that Manisha was sleeping peacefully on the bed in the same position she had left her in. Nimisha's face turned even paler. She frantically woke Manisha up. Seeing Nimisha's pale face and red eyes, Manisha hugged the frightened Nimisha, but when she asked, Nimisha didn't tell her anything. She was in no condition to say anything. That night, Nimisha washed her face in front of the bathroom mirror, tied her hair, and went to sleep. Manisha couldn't understand anything. From that day on, Nimisha started sleeping at night and began ignoring her roommate. Whenever Manisha started studying in the room, she felt like someone was staring at her, and it was often Nimisha. Troubled, Manisha asked her again what had happened that night. Finally, Nimisha told Manisha everything truthfully about that night. After hearing everything, Manisha's mind raced, and she completely believed Nimisha's story because Manisha knew that a girl had died on the same date, December 10th, 5 years ago. That meant all the stories and rumors Manisha and Nimisha had been hearing were true. There really was a ghost of that girl on the 5th floor. After that day, they both stopped talking about the 5th floor, but they could never forget that terrifying incident.